Yo, what is good, party people? Today is day 21. No, I'm lying. I should have checked before I started. Today is day 22. Doesn't look bad. Maybe 5. Oh, not that, bro. Like, make the thing. Okay, this is not gonna work. Maybe if I move off to the side. Because this thing is on top of me. Never mind. Today is day 22. Today is day 22 of this series. Today is day 22 of choosing life. Um, Today has been super eventful. Biggest thing of today was that I felt for the first time what it's like to be out in public by myself. I'll put it like this: for my whole life, for 18 years, whenever I've been out, I've always been out with somebody. This is like the first year where it's been like, yo, like it's you on your own, you're your own human being. It was surreal. You know what I'm saying? It was looking kind of emotional. You feel me? It was also looking kind of emotional because I've never been in such a position. I've never been in such a position. Basically, what happened was, because I know it sounds kind of vague, but basically what happened was, woke up and there was no power. So I was like, hey man, there's no power. Phone was on like 19%. So I'm like, hey man, you know what? I can't charge my phone, so I'm gonna go take a shower for me, and I'm gonna just, listen to some jazz and stretch, because quads and muscles is tight. So I do that, and then I finish, and I remember, like, for the past couple of days, I've just been in a place where I don't know what to do. You feel me? I've been in a place where I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I've been scared of doing the wrong thing. That was strange. I've been scared of doing the wrong thing. But I know that I have to do something. Things that I haven't done in a long time. I did them yesterday. The first thing that I did yesterday was that I sent an apology to my ex. Because for a long time it was on my heart that I did it wrong, and I moved wrong. If anything, I've been reflecting a lot on how I moved as a person in relationships. From last year and years before. I've been really thinking about, like, it's been on my mind, like, yo, like, I've been dissecting how I moved, which is weird. It might be something, but it's looking kind of weird, because I've never thought about them, but I've been thinking about them lately, and I've really been like, yo, I was wilding, and I was bugging, Let me take off my glasses. I don't like that reflection, I was bugging, like I was just you know. And with that in mind, I was like, chill. Like now, I'm really in a place where, like, yo, I don't wanna mess up again. I don't wanna move like that again. So that was the first big thing that I did yesterday, and it was really tough. You know. But at least now I'm at peace because I said what I said. You know what I'm saying? I'm at peace because I said what I said. But back to me reflecting, I was just looking off into the space, and I was just reflecting. I was like, "Cho, like, man, I was just reflecting. I was reflecting on how I moved first and foremost, and also how I'm managing being alone this year. I'm quite isolated. All of my friends, I mean, all of us were in different phases of our lives. I got bro, one of my friends in the US. He left last year. My other friend is in uni. My two female friends, we don't talk as much. My other female friend, we send each other TikToks every day. My other homeboy, he's like 30 minutes away, doing his own thing. My other friend, still in school, but he's also doing his own thing. That nigga's always busy. So we're all in different, like, places in our lives. And I never knew what it was, but I always knew that, like, yo, this year there's something different about this year, like something's happening, and I'm missing it, I'm missing it. Turns out I wasn't missing anything. I just didn't want to accept the fact that I was alone. I didn't want to accept the fact that, like, this year I'm alone. Like, like it's just me. Like, this year is more so a year to find myself. I didn't want to accept that. I didn't want to accept that. I didn't want to accept that this year would be a year of me reflecting, me changing habits, me renewing my mind and stuff like that. I'm sitting on something that's making me uncomfortable. I didn't want to accept the fact that this year is that, and that these things had to take place. I didn't want to accept that. But today, I had to accept it. I had to accept it. And I will say it was emotional. It was emotional. Because I was at a restaurant. I was at Mug and Bean, and I went with my dad because my dad had an interview, and so I asked if I could go with him because my phone was on 1%, and I didn't want to just wait in the house, for the power to come back. Even though it came back like an hour later, I didn't want to wait an hour. My phone was gonna die. So, and plus I want to get out of the house. I want to get out of the house. I want to feel the world. So we out, and like we're looking for a spot. We're looking for a seat. We're looking for a place to, like, for me to charge my phone and for him to do his work and stuff. And like he was like on the other side of the restaurant, setting up for the interview, and I was sat at a table by myself, and I've never in my life have I ever sat at a table by myself. Normally when I'm sitting at a table or when I'm anywhere, I'm expecting someone. I'm expecting to see someone. Like if I'm ever out by myself, like I'm not going out on my own. Like I'm going there by myself, but someone's tagging along. But this time no one was tagging along. And for a while I sat in this restaurant. Number one, I was mad because I thought about bringing my sketchbook, because I wanted to draw, make it look like I'm busy, and as I was about to leave the house, I was like, should I take my book? Nah, I can't because I don't have a bag. No, I'm making all of these excuses, and I didn't take it, and now I'm sat in this restaurant and I've got nothing to do, and I look around, people are doing something, but what I saw I saw a lot of people doing their own thing, I saw a lot of people comfortable being by themselves. Mind you, these people are adults, I'm 19. These people are like 25, 28, old niggas, old people, And I'm just sat at this table, right? It's a big table. You can fit like 6 people. I'm sat at this table. I'm sat like so close, like this, like the couch is behind me because it's so far back. I can't do anything, so I'm sat, And I remember I'm just looking around. I'm just looking around, and like, I couldn't believe where I was. I couldn't believe that, like I'm actually here alone. You know what I'm saying? Sat by myself, And I may be saying it in a way that makes it sound like it's sad or that it's this or that it's that. But like it's a part of life, I think the only reason why I didn't accept it was because I wanted to be alone in an aesthetic way, Because next year I'm gonna be in a different city, so I was okay with the idea of me being alone in a different city that's aesthetic, that looks as pleasing on the eye, not me being alone in a mall that I go to, well, not often, but in a familiar place, and it was tough to come to terms with, because I was thinking a lot, I was really trying to make it look like this is not new to me. I was really trying to do my best to make it look like, like I'm used to this, but I wasn't used to it, And the waiters, they kept walking by me, looking at me, and man, like it was just, I won't lie, it was mad emotional. I felt mad emotional, not to the point that I was crying or anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm a gangster, but it was emotional in the thing of like, I was like, damn, nigga, I'm here by myself. You know what I'm saying? And like, it was a time where I had to ask, I had to do a lot of things myself, you know, like asking for the waiter. I didn't even, I didn't even ask. I didn't even ask for the menu. I didn't even ask for the menu. One of the waiters, like, he came to me, he's like, "Hey, is everything good?" I'm like, "Nah." It's like, "What? What do you mean everything's not good?" I'm like, "Nah." He's asking, "Did they serve you?" I'm like, "No, not necessarily. Everyone's just be walking by me," which made it worse. But I wasn't crying. I'm okay. So, and he's like, "Oh shoot, okay, I'm gonna help you out." You feel me? And now I'm looking through this menu. I don't even know what to order. I'm trying to look like I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I ended up ordering like this gourmet burger, you feel me? And I ordered this Vietnamese iced latte. I was excited to get the iced latte. But that shit was bitter. Oh, I think it was so bitter, you know? But I'm sat here, I'm eating by myself. I'm just looking around, And I was like, this would be the perfect time to take a video of myself. Take a video of myself eating here at this restaurant, And yeah, I was over there, I was eating, and it was surreal, It was very different, I've never been this isolated ever in my life. Like, I've been isolated, but I've always been in spaces where, like, there's people, like school, things like this. But this year I've been super isolated, I've been super isolated, to a point where, like, even when I talk to some of my friends, they're like, "Yo, like, aren't you talking to anybody? You're not dating nobody." And I'm like, "Nah, like, I'm not." You feel me? Like, I'm not outside like that. And, I also don't find the need to. You know what I'm saying? I don't find the need to like do what I was doing when I was younger, because when I was younger there was always someone in my life, Like, I always had a shorty. Yo, 5%. Like, I always had a shorty around me. When I'm talking to her, I'm dating her, I always had a shorty, So for this year to be like, yo, like, no shorty, just me figuring life out, this was like, chill, But I'm glad that it happened, because it's making me strong. It's making me a better person. But yeah, that was surreal, I think the fact that I've experienced it now, I'm open to doing it again. Like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm ready to do it again. But yeah, man, that was today. I'm actually super grateful that I actually understood, like, what this year was about. I never wanted to accept it, because everyone else, their lives are different. A lot of people, they isolate, they by themselves, but like, they still have their boys, they still hanging out with their peoples. I'm not, because everyone has a different thing going on. But yeah, that was today's thing. That was today's thing, and I'm still learning how to be comfortable in my own skin. If I'm being honest, I'm still learning how to be comfortable in my own skin. So yeah, I'm just grateful for that. For that experience. I'm definitely gonna take my sketchbook. Next time. But yeah, man, that was today. A lot of good shit happened today. Spoke to some people. You know what I'm saying? And I might, I might be putting myself back out there. But I don't know. I just don't feel it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel it. I just don't feel it. And that apology, I don't know. It really just changed a lot. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it just brought a lot of things to light. You feel me? Just me reflecting on, like, the relationship I had with my ex. And, like, actually being accountable. And actually saying that, yo, like, I was insecure. Back, like, if you had to ask me last year if I'm insecure, I would have. I could. There wasn't a bone in my body that would allow me to say I'm insecure. But at that time, I was insecure. Even now, there are some times where I'm insecure, or where I'm just like, yo, like, I feel, I feel weird. Sometimes I'll be feeling like that girl from The Incredibles, the girl with the purple hair. The one who always wants to just go invisible. Sometimes I feel like that when I'm out in public, because I've never been out in public, like, on my own. I'm only just walking in and out, But at least now I'm, like, more confident, I walk a bit slower for me. Water farm a little more, But yeah, I'm actually super grateful for today. You know. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I think today's message is just to be okay with being isolated, be okay with being alone, and being okay with being comfortable in your skin. It's not gonna be easy, being comfortable in your own skin and finding yourself, and finding where you fit in the world, your own routine. It's not gonna be the most smooth transition. It might be, depending on your familiarity with being on your own and just being independent, rather, not just being on your own, but being independent, because we all are on our own in many aspects of the day. I mean, we bath by ourselves, we sleep by ourselves, we do many things alone, but out in the public eye, and out in the world, and plus, like, even if you haven't found the hang of it, even if you haven't found the hang of life on your own, life being independent, it's okay. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a journey. It's about the journey, not the destination. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are leading with love in all of your relationships. I hope you guys are prioritizing your happiness. I hope you guys are prioritizing your health. And I hope you guys are giving yourself some grace. And I hope you guys are giving yourself a chance. I really do hope so. And yeah, y'all need to stay safe. Make sure you drink your water. Make sure you exercise. Make sure you tell your peoples you love them. Wish them happy birthday. Do all of that. And as always, I'm not promoting this. If you see it, you see it. Doses.
The markings on your surface, your speckled face, flood crystals hang from your ears. I couldn't gauge your fears. I can't relate to my peers. I'd rather live outside. I'd rather chip my pride than lose my mind out here. Maybe I'm a fool, and maybe I should move and settle. 2 kids in a swimming pool. I'm not brave. I'm not brave. I'm living over city and taking in the homeless sometimes. I've been living in an idea from another man's mind.